me, Vicky Marie. Sorry, I was just finishing off my breakfast. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. So I've got my coffee. It's my second coffee. I need 2 coffees really before I can function. Anyone who doesn't know me, if you're new to this channel, my name's Vicky Marie. I talk mainly about true crime. From sort of America, Australia, Europe, mainly Canada, most English-speaking countries, but also Spain, because Spain is where I'm based. And it is now 9:35 in the morning on Monday, the 25th of August. It is 28 degrees already. So it's still very hot here, but not as hot as it was a couple of weeks ago. But it's very balmy. It feels like it's going to storm. This is what normally happens by the end of August in Spain. We get a big storm, and that's when the weather breaks, and we go into the nice weather in September, which is normally around 22 degrees. Anyway, so yeah, it's been a very hot and steamy weekend, but not in a good way. Just really sort of, it's oppressive, But anyway, it's also been, for me, I hope you've had a good weekend. My weekend has been a weekend of breakages. So I've had, my phone is broken, it won't charge, it'll only stay on 1% all the time. What was the other thing that broke? Oh, my shower, the shower attachment thing that broke. And that's probably from overuse, because I'm having about 200 showers a day in this horrible cold, hot weather. Cold showers in the hot weather. So that just crumbled yesterday. So I need a new shower attachment. It's just been one of those. So I'm waiting for the third thing. Is there anything else? Did anything else break? Nothing yet, hopefully. Anyway, so that was my weekend. It was a quiet weekend because last weekend, of course, was my birthday weekend, and that was full on. So this weekend, I really chilled out, completely chilled out. Didn't really do a lot of anything, really. A bit of cleaning, watched a lot of Netflix, all those kind of things. So I hope you've had a good weekend too. So, first of all, thank you to everyone, as per the banner at the bottom. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing. And a special thank you to my members. Why not consider becoming a member so you can join in the Thursday night exclusive members lives. I also want to say, remember, I'm streaming to my 2 channels, which is the Vicky Marie Chats and the Spanish and English with Vicky, because for those of you who don't know, in my other life, I am a Spanish teacher. And so I have 2 channels. And so people could be watching from either channel. And also notice quite a few more members that have joined on that channel. Thank you so much. But thank you to the members that have joined on the Vicky Marie Chats channel. The members are the mainstay of my channel. And you know what? I won't be able to carry on doing the channel without the members, to be fair. So what else? Yes, thank you to those of you who bought me a Ko-fi. That's very much appreciated too. Because these things like the members subscriptions and the Ko-fis and the PayPals, etc., that's what pay my streaming costs, etc., and any new equipment that I need. I'm going to have to be needing to buy a new phone. These kind of things. If it wasn't for that, really, just won't be able to do the channel, the hours that I put into it. What else? Thank you for your nice emails, your nice messages. Thank you for contributing to my channel in any positive way that you do. And now I'm going to take the banner off, say hello to everybody. So yeah, hello lovely lurkers. So my lovely lurkers are the people that like to watch but not necessarily joining the chat, though quite often they leave me messages or to tell me that they're a lurker. Thank you so much. Thank you to the loathsome lurkers. They're the trolls. I do have some trolls who watch me for some unknown reason. They don't get a kiss. But thanks for watching, because it all adds to the algorithm. Who else? Oh, of course, I'm going to come into the chat now and say hello to those of you that are brave enough to venture into the chat. Hey, thank you, Maria. Thank you, Maria. Where's my thank you? That's just come up. My little thank you. Thank you so much. See you on Thursday. Really does make a massive difference to me. Now, you know, times are hard. I know that. It's a little bit cheaper to join on the Spanish and English channel. I think it's $4.99 on the Vicky Marie Chats channel and $3.99, I think, on the other one. So, anyway, thank you so much, Maria. Much appreciated. Right, let's say hello to everybody. Hey, Tracy. Good morning. Hi, Bluebell. Hi, David. Well, I haven't told you what we're going to talk about today, but anyway, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about Erin Patterson. Let's just... So, that is not Erin Patterson. That is Ian, the survivor of what happened with the mushroom murder trial that we've covered for months. It went on for it still feels a bit strange now without having it to talk about so much. I mean, things are going to come up because this woman, Erin Patterson, who murdered 3 people cold-bloodedly with a beef Wellington, sat and watched them eat it, knowing that they were dead people walking as soon as they got up from that table. She was found guilty. 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder on this poor guy, Ian Wilkinson. So we're in the sentencing phase now. Let me just put this up. Yeah, I do like this. I do think Erin looks just like this character from Watership Down. I like to make her look silly because she's a horrible person. The other thing, of course, we put her in the hellhole. Let's have a look. We put her in the hellhole, though, strictly speaking, she's not been sentenced yet. So we're in the sentencing phase. And today, the victim impact statements came up, didn't they? And the other thing we have to remember about Erin is her point. Anyway, she was found guilty. The jury came to the right decision. They saw through all her BS, didn't they? Saw through all her rubbish, and they found her guilty. And it was a deserved verdict, 100% deserved verdict. That woman is as guilty as the hell she is going to. So, sorry, I'll just go back and say, I was saying hello to everyone and then I got distracted. Doesn't take much to distract me, of course. So I think I've got as far as Bluebell. Hi, Angel. They're all chatting. Hi, Maria. Yes, David, let's hope so. 40 years would be good, wouldn't it? But I think she should get life. She's killed 3 people. She's a triple murderer. And it is only by luck, not judgment, that she didn't murder Ian. In my opinion, should be life without parole. But I don't know what, be interesting to find out about Australian sentencing. At the end, if that was in America, she would be locked up and the key thrown away, wouldn't she? because America, or at least some parts of America, seem to have the strictest sentences. Triple murder. Just like, this wasn't even a crime of passion. It was premeditated. She sat and watched them. She lied. She cast aspersions on other people. Of course, she tried to kill her husband, Simon, before as well, though that probably is not allowed to come into the sentencing. I don't know what's going to happen about that. But to me, the worst thing will always be the fact she sat there and watched them chew every mouthful, knowing what he was doing. That takes a special sort of bad person. It's different from killing someone in the heat of the moment, or, which is still bad, of course it is, but, everybody can snap, I think, but it's the premeditation, it's the calculating lies and cover-ups afterwards, and trying to make out other people were liars. It's all those things that, to me, should give it a just definite life without parole. Now, and of course, the fact that she lied and said she had cancer, and all these poor people, the 3 people that she murdered, and the 1 person who survived, they all prayed for her because she told them she had cancer. But of course, she did not have cancer. Did she? She did not have cancer. She lied about that. So, we'll see. Only the judge can decide the sentencing. But, he's been there through it all. It's gone on for so long, so much information. Let's not forget that the defense called, I think it was 50 witnesses. Sorry, the prosecution called over 50 witnesses, experts, mushroom experts, data experts, you name it, they called experts. Whereas defense only called Erin to the stand. Nobody's given her a character witness. Even her sister didn't appear in court. Erin keeps saying, I had no family. I only had them. I would never have hurt them. She has a sister. Where is the sister? And just the fact that Erin had nobody else as well. And yet she still killed these people. So that, to me, shows the depth of her depravity. And although it's very sad for her children, what's happened, but it's good that they're out of her clutches, I think. Okay, so what was I going to do then? I got lost in the talking. So I had some photos to show you. So she's appeared in court. This is the thumbnail for this video. So we've got 2 photos of Erin going to court. Wonder if it's sinking in yet. So the most there was a few victim impact statements given today, and to me the most striking one is the one by Ian. Now remember, we've talked about this. I knew he would forgive her because that's the kind of man Ian is. He's a pastor. He goes to church. You just knew he would forgive her because that's the kind of person he is. And they couldn't be further apart, could they? As in character and the type of person they are, Erin and Ian Wilkinson. He's a good person. All those victims were good people. I'm not saying it's right to poison bad people, but these people were so vulnerable because of their goodness. Even though they knew, or at least Don knew, that Simon's father, that Simon thought Erin had tried to kill him before. He would never have thought that she would have tried to do it to him because they're such innocent and trusting type people. And there's Erin just laughing at them, saying she's a Christian. Of course she's not a Christian. She's probably a Satanist or something. I don't even think she's like, you say atheist, and atheist supposedly doesn't believe in God. But I won't be surprised if Erin is like believes in, Satanism or whatever, because she's just so evil. I mean, really, really, if you have a scale of evil, Erin is bloody near the top, isn't she? If not on the top. So yeah, she just thought it was funny that these people that were so still just nice and ordinary, decent, salt of the earth type people trusted her. She thought she was even sat there like, she's like got a God complex, hasn't she, a bit? She thinks she can play with people's lives, not get found out because she's so clever. She's so clever, so intelligent. She's so much more intelligent than everybody else. Even some of the things she said, it showed that she thought she was more intelligent than the police, didn't she? Oh, your job's easy, chucking the phone at him, wiping her phone, ran remotely while the phone was actually in the police custody. Those kind of things that Erin just thought she was above the law. And, she chose to have her trial in that little town because she thought that the jury that came from there would be like Ian, Don, Heather, and Ian, sorry, I have to say that Gail, no, Don, Gail, Ian, and Heather. She thought the jury would be like them, bit gullible, nice people, not cynical. And so she thought that would be her best chance of getting a jury to believe her. Whereas maybe if she would have chose to have a trial in Melbourne, people a bit more worldly. I don't know. That's how it feels, isn't it? She was trying to get one over on the jury as well, like, because she's so superior in her eyes, which of course she isn't. Wonder if she's getting a shock in prison. Anyway, she's got one follower, hasn't she? That follower, God, I can't even remember her name. That's how important she is. The one that turned up at the trial in her ripped jeans. She was there for this sentencing hearing, and apparently they acknowledged each other. God knows where she's come from and why she's supporting Erin. How could you support someone who's killed 3 people like that? And nearly a fourth. Elderly people, vulnerable people. You know what? Some people I will never understand. And not only talk about the perpetrators, people that are in denial about, even when the evidence is right in front of them, when their loved one is found guilty. I mean, it must be horrible when your loved one's found guilty of a terrible crime. But for God's sake, it doesn't mean say you're not going to love them anymore. But face up to it, what they've done, denying it. Terrible. They deserve, they don't deserve any sympathy in my eyes. If someone finds out their loved one has committed terrible crime, as I say, I'm not saying they should stop loving them or whatever, because that's not as easy. That's easier said than done. But to keep denying it and saying they're innocent and screwing over the victims' families again, like a few of them are doing, Richard Allen's wife, etc. You're just screwing over the victims over and over again. And so my sympathy runs out then. It's like, you can't accept that your lovely Johnny, or whether it's your son, your brother, your partner, your husband, or your wife, or your sister, it could be a man or a woman, you can't accept that they have been found guilty. And it's hard to find someone guilty. It's hard to even get a case to court in the first place. That's why the police have got to be so careful. So Laurie Vallow, she's another one. She was saying, oh, most people that are taken to court are found guilty. Well, yeah, they are. They're found guilty, most people are, because to even get them to court, you've got to show that you've got a really strong case. So it's unusual for someone to be found not guilty. I agree. But that's the reason why. So, of course, she's not guilty, is she, Laurie Vallow? According to her, they were just family tragedies, all the multiple deaths she's got behind her and attempted murders. Family tragedies, that's a new name for murder. So You know what? It is a crazy world, isn't it? You know, I was thinking this morning, and I was walking the dogs, and I was looking over the campo, and there's all houses in the distance, and I thought in each one of those houses, there's someone living, you know, you're living their life or whatever. What's going on behind those closed doors? You just don't know, do you? You sort of look at, you never take any notice of it, you know. And it's, I don't even live in a very busy place, but if you're in a city and you look out and there's all those houses and flats and God knows what, all with different people living their life. What is going on in their lives, you know? And that's, you know, and there's, the world's a big place, isn't it? Lots of countries, like millions and billions of people leading their lives. But what is going on behind closed doors? It's quite scary, actually. You know, and you can never believe what people are capable of. Now, having said that, most people are not capable of it. So that's the good news, isn't it? Most people are not capable of evil. So that's good. Okay, so let's have a look at what these, let's have a look at a video first of all. Let me just find it. Where's it gone? Do you know everything always disappears? Is that it? No. I've got to find it again, as usual. I think what happens is I get distracted and start watching something else, and then I forget to go back to what I originally was. Oh, we've got some live updates going on, haven't we? Oh, it's still going on, this hearing, I think. It's not quite finished yet. Oh, so I might have to do it because I've got some classes later. If I've got time, I'll look at the latest things, which are the prosecutors talking. But first of all, what I really want to talk about, first of all, is Ian's comments. I think Ian's been really brave, you know, because he is the only survivor. Here he is. He's the only survivor. He's the only one that was actually there at the lunch that has lived to tell the tale. And he had to go and give evidence. That must have been really difficult because he's lost his wife. He's also lost his two best friends. And he is the only surviving guest. So, in short, the only surviving guest of Erin Patterson's deadly mushroom lunch says he has forgiven the convicted triple murderer and is no longer her victim. Gosh, I might cry during this. Patterson faced her victims' loved ones during an emotional plea hearing in Melbourne on Monday. Oh, they're back to Melbourne now then. It's interesting. So the judge will continue the statements before handing down the sentence. So he graciously offered to forgive Erin Patterson. And that will really annoy her, I think. Don't you think? I think she won't graciously accept his forgiveness. Well, she hasn't even admitted she did it yet, so she can't accept anyone's forgiveness until she actually confesses. But, you know, I just think that'll irritate her good, because she'll think she looks down on them for having their faith and their beliefs. And whether you've got it or not, that's their faith, their beliefs, and they're entitled to it. She looks down on them. She sneers at them for having faith. So he confronted the convicted triple murderer in Victoria's Supreme Court on Monday. He extended the olive branch during an emotional victim impact statement read to a packed courtroom as the killer faced a pre-sentence hearing. I encourage Erin to receive my offer of forgiveness for those harms done to me, he said. I bear her no ill will. I tell you, that takes a big man. That is what a big man does, not like big man Jake Harrow, strangling babies or, whatever. Big men, real men. This is the kind of things that real men do in my eyes. My prayer for her is that she will use her time in jail wisely to become a better person. Sorry, I'm not laughing I'm laughing because Erin, I just think she will be be very down on that. Do you know what I mean? Mr. Wilkinson was the only guest who survived eating a beef Wellington that Patterson laced with poisonous death cap mushrooms in July 2023. She was brought to court for the first time since being found guilty of murdering in-laws Don and Gail Patterson, as well as Gail's sister and Mr. Wilkinson's wife, Heather Wilkinson. Yeah, you might as well look up, Erin. If you're looking for someone to save you, no one's going to save you. And you don't deserve saving. It is now the court's task to sentence Patterson, who faces the prospect of life behind bars. Under the gaze of the packed courtroom, Patterson was escorted into the court dock by security guards. About 20 members of the extended Patterson and Wilkinson families were in the room, along with dozens of journalists and members of the public. So Mr. Wilkinson began his statement by paying tribute to his beautiful wife of 44 years. Heather was compassionate, brave, witty, and dedicated to helping others, he said. A very important member of our family is missing, he said. It's a truly horrible thought to live with, that somebody could decide to take her life. I could go on. There's so much more that deserves to be said about Heather. It's some of the most distressing shortcomings of society that so much attention is showered on those who do evil and so little on those who do good. And I think he's 100% true in saying that. I'll tell you what's really irritating me at the moment is in the Idaho 4 case. Oh my God, everyone keeps talking about Brian Kohberger. I am not doing any videos about Brian. He's, pled guilty. He needs to go in the hellhole. I think I might have already put him in there. Why? Every crime thing that look, it's like, oh, new photos, this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. Forget him. He loves the attention. Absolutely loves it. And in the meantime, those poor kids, adult kids, of course, and their families, they don't really talk about them as people. It's all about him. He sort of celebrate. He's like a celebrity. It's driving me absolutely mad. I'm sick of it. I was putting comments on, and now I can't even be bothered to put comments on it when these channels keep talking about him all the time. It's talk about the victims. So these are her victims. So we've got Don, that's Simon's dad, isn't it? And then his wife is over on the right there. That's Gail, Simon's mum. And then in the middle is Gail's sister, Heather, who was Ian's wife. So momentarily, Mr. Wilkinson stopped, wiping his eyes and drinking a glass of water. Then he returned to Patterson's crime. I'm distressed that Erin has acted with callous and calculated disregard for my life and the lives of those I love, he said. What foolishness possesses a person to think that murder could be a solution to their problems? Erin has brought deep sorrow and grief to my life and the lives of many others. So he said he continued to suffer from kidney problems. He had to have a transplant, of course, and low energy. 2 years on from the poisonings. He said he had no power to forgive Patterson for her crimes against others, but he could do so in his own case. In regards to the murder of Heather Galen Don, I am compelled to seek justice, he said. And Patterson, who wore a brown paisley top, black pants and black sandals, fought back tears. Real tears? Real tears? This woman only ever cries for herself, as Mr. Wilkinson read out his statement. Then his daughter, Ruth Dubois, next read a statement saying it was difficult to comprehend how Patterson could have planned the murders, and in the aftermath showed little care for her victims and told extraordinary lies. And she did. I mean, the lies she told, oh my God, absolutely incredible lies this woman's told. So then Simon, his victim impact statement, he was also invited, of course, but he withdrew from the lunch. Now we find out it's because he thought she tried to kill him before. On Monday, a statement was read to the court on his behalf. So he didn't go to this hearing today. He sent a statement. And he said he missed his parents and aunt more than words could express. He said his 2 children would now have to live with the grim reality of a broken family. And you know what? It's bad enough when people get divorced, isn't it? But these children have got to live with the fact that their mother is a triple murderer as well. But I still think they were lucky. I still think they're lucky to not have her anymore because they're not in her care, because I would not put anything past Erin. You know, as I've said before, they're only quite young now, but as they got older, maybe they weren't doing what she wanted them to do. With Erin, it's all about spite and control. Queen bee, she's a queen bee. I just don't think they would be safe from her if she would have got away with this. Also, you know, they're partners in future life. You know, what if they got married, had children, and then split up from their partner? Those partners won't be safe, would they? So anyway, Simon said almost everyone knows their mother murdered their grandparents, he said. Oh, and of course, let's not forget that Erin was hoping to train to be a midwife and a nurse. You know, I think quite a few people's lives might have been saved that we'll never know from her going to prison, because she was trying to put herself in a position of being in control of people's lives, being a midwife, being a nurse. So he did not directly address his wife. He took aim at members of the media for deplorable conduct in the wake of the killings. Now, I've been thinking about Simon, and yeah, he rarely says anything bad about Erin, but you know what? He's got his children to think about. So I think that's probably part of the reason why. Because the children, maybe not now, but maybe in years to come, will be able to read through these things and say, why did you say all those horrible things about our mum? Because at the end of the day, she is still their mum, and they've got a lot of coming to terms to do, haven't they, with Erin, because she is still their mum, and everyone keeps saying what a great mum she was. I don't think she was a great mum. I think she was a terrible mother. But she, you know, giving them mushrooms in their chocolate brownies, like to try, while she was testing out if, you know, what sort of a mother is she? But she thinks she's a good mum because she took them to ballet practice and to flying lessons, and that's not what makes you a good mum, is it? Anyway, she pled not guilty at her high-profile trial. So Simon said his family had been harassed at home and ambushed by strangers with cameras. That's not fair, is it? She said, of course, her lunch guests' illnesses were tragic accidents. So remember, she said she didn't ever have a hydrator until it was discovered that she did. And then she said, oh yeah, she lied about that. She said she didn't ever forage for mushrooms until it was discovered that in fact she did. And then she said, oh yeah, I did lie about that, but I'm not lying now, I didn't kill them. She admitted foraging for the mushrooms, but argued she did not know the ones that ended up in the meal were poisonous. Whatever, Erin, whatever. So prosecutors and defence lawyers are expected to address the court in the afternoon. That's what will be going on now, and I'll see if... Yeah, I've still got time. I've still got a little bit of time, so maybe I can go over to that. I'll just come back to chat, make sure you're all okay. Hi, Lee. Yeah, I agree. Would she have got away with it if Ian hadn't survived? He was key witness, wasn't he? Because without his testimony, even if it would have, well, it wouldn't have come to a trial, I don't think, without his testimony. Maybe, possibly. But without him testifying about the plates, about lying about having cancer, you know, none of that cancer stuff would have been admissible, would it? So, you know, very odd. Okay, so this is what's happened so far, according to ABC. Prosecutors say mushroom murderer Erin Patterson should be jailed for life with no chance of parole. That's exactly what I said. I do love these prosecutors. They've been so good. They have been really, really good. Describing her crimes as being in the worst category. So Crown Prosecutor Jane Warren said Don and Gail, along with Heather, suffered a slow and painful death. That's the other thing, you know, that we mustn't forget. This wasn't an instant death. This was a slow, agonizing, painful death. And the only good thing, if you can call it that, about that is they did have a chance to do a little bit of testimony themselves. You know, there are some things that they said after the lunch and before they went into a coma or were put into a coma and died. There were some things that they'd said, like about the plates, etc. But the other thing we mustn't forget as well, remember they'd been thrilled to have been invited to this lunch, apparently. They said it was delicious. They loved it. They had a great time. And all the time that bitch was sat there knowing that they were going to be dead within a couple of days. But yeah, a very painful, slow, agonizing death. And also, as the prosecutor says, the killer had executed the highest level of planning and preparation. And it wasn't a spur of the moment thing, oh, just see if I can find some death cap mushrooms and poison them. She'd been planning it for months. So it is properly described as worst category offending, Miss Warren said. It is a crime that is so cruel and so horrific that in our submission, the offender is not deserving of this court's mercy. I agree. So, Patterson, 50, maintains her innocence. However, a barrister conceded a life sentence was only appropriate sentence. So even he's conceded has to be a life sentence based on a jury ruling that she had murdered 3 people and tried to kill another. However, he urged Judge Christopher Beale to grant Patterson parole, giving her the chance to one day walk free when she was in her 80s. No, listen, this woman, the type of crime she has done, even if she's in her 80s, she'll still be able to poison people. Do you know what I mean? We're going to say she's not a danger. She'd come out of prison with so much revenge on a man. Now, probably by then, Ian won't still be around because he's already in his 70s. You know, he's 20. Well, he might be. He could be in his... I don't know how old he would be when she was in her 80s. But Simon would still be around, probably. Her kids would still be around. Everyone Erin Patterson is a danger to everyone and will be forever, because her solution to irritating people, it's not as if they even did anything really bad to her. It's like, they irritated her because she thought they didn't support her enough. That was, it's not as if they, killed one of her children or killed her dog or, did something awful to her, stole a load of money off her. She murdered them just because they irritated her. So she's always going to be a danger. So she comes out of prison in her 80s. Nobody might irritate her, and people won't know who she is. And next thing she invites them to lunch, but they've peed her off because they left the toilet seat up or something. You could not trust Erin Patterson not to kill someone for whatever reason. She didn't have a good reason to kill them. So 8th of September in Melbourne, we'll put that date in our diaries. That's when Justice Beale is going to sentence Erin Patterson on the 8th of September. Not that far away, is it? Just a couple of weeks. So yeah, in my opinion, it should be definitely life without parole, because even if she is elderly when she comes out, don't have to be young, fit and strong to poison someone, do you? Yeah, God, you could just imagine her. Because if she was released on parole, she'd be given a new identity, wouldn't she? Or she'd go to, don't forget, Erin's got means. She's got money, so she could go and live wherever she wanted to live, if she's got any money left after she's paid the solicitors, of course, and whatever restitution she might have to pay to the victims. I just know that he ain't going to ask for restitution. He's not that sort of person. He might ask for it as a donation to the church or something. Or he might ask for it on behalf of the other 3 victims, because like he just said then, Ian, he's saying, I forgive Erin, but I can't speak for the other, it's only in my remit to forgive Erin for what she did to me. I can't forgive her for what she did to others. And ultimately, I do believe in forgiveness, but the first thing for anyone to be forgiven is they've got to admit they did it. You can't say, I forgive you, and it's like, forgive me for what? I never did anything, and that forgiveness that Ian has given Erin, that will set him free in his, because he would feel more comfortable that he's forgiven her. Now, that doesn't mean to say he wants her to be out, though, having said that. Maybe if he was asked, do you think Erin should get life without parole? He'd say, yeah, bloody right, I do. That you can forgive someone without wanting them to be released or get softer sentence. Forgiveness is something in your heart, is setting yourself free from evil. Because if you don't forgive them and you live with it, and you sort of, the rancor that it causes within you, it's you that will suffer. And it's not only for big things like this. Obviously, this is a big thing. But little things, people do horrible things all the time, don't they, to you? But, not normally as big as that. But I forgive. Every day I try and forgive people for things that they've done. Silly things, like if they've talked about me behind my back, or lied about me, or said horrible things to me, or called me a name or whatever. I always try and forgive people. Ex-partners maybe that have not treated me very well, or I also apologise, in my prayers and everything for things I've done. I'm not a bloody saint, that's for sure. Every day I do something that I think, I shouldn't have done that. I've heard nothing mega. I'm not talking about big things like this. I'm talking about, just daft things like, I don't know, not letting someone out even. When you're in the car and you can see someone's trying to come out and you, an hour, and then you go anyway. And I always go, oh, sorry, because I should have let them go, really. Just daft things like that. I'm always saying I'm sorry for things, but you have to genuinely be sorry. If you've done something wrong, and we all do wrong things because we're all human beings and we're all got our frailties and none of us are perfect. And it's we're constantly wrangling whether to do the right thing. Even letting someone go in front of you at the supermarket because they've only got a couple of things and you've got loads of stuff, or letting someone go sit down on the bus because they look, like they could do with sitting down, and, those kind of things I'm talking about. It's important to do the right thing, but we don't always do the right thing because we're human. So we can apologize for it, and then we can also forgive people who do wrong things about us. Because when we ask God, if you believe in God, which I do, and you ask God for forgiveness, then you have to forgive other people as well, don't you? But the thing really is they do have to say they've done it. This is the problem with Erin that I would find difficult about forgiving Erin. She's not even admitted she did it. Maybe when she admits she did it, that's the time for forgiveness. Has somebody does somebody, it's a question, and let me know what you think in the comments. Does somebody have to say sorry for doing something and admit it before you can forgive them? Or, like Ian, he's offered Erin his forgiveness, even though she hasn't actually admitted that she did it. But I'm sure Ian will feel better about that. This is what I'm saying. I think when you forgive someone, it's not really for them, is it? It's for you to just let all that hate go, because it doesn't do you any good, and it doesn't change anything, does it? No, I'm going to try one more time. I've got about 10-15 minutes before I have to go. Let's just see. Now, I wanted to talk about the baby Emmanuel, but I won't be talking about it now. I haven't got time. But at some point today, I'm hoping they'll find that baby soon enough. They're looking for him, aren't they? But anyway, I'll talk about that another time. Right, let's have a look. Video. I just want a little video, a news video to watch. I had one, I'll say, up there, but it's disappeared. Maybe this. Yeah, let's have a look at this.
Murderer Erin Patterson is face-to-face with the families of her victims. Amber Johnston has been in court this morning. She joins us now live. Amber, this is part of the pre-sentencing hearing. It will take a number of days. Talk us through what's happened in court so far.
Yeah, good morning to you, Deb. It's already been an incredibly emotional day here at the Victorian Supreme Court, and that is because today is basically all about the surviving victims of Erin Patterson. So it's their moment to come here to court, come face to face.
Oh, so that's what she was looking up at. It looks like there's a drone up there or something. Look, she hears it and she looks up. She knows everyone's going to be taking photos of her. I mean, I don't feel sorry for her at all.
Basically all about the surviving victims of Erin Patterson.
Yeah, see how she looked up there.
And so it's their moment to come here to court, come face to face with her and look her in the eye as they describe how her crimes have impacted their lives. So this morning we've already heard 7 victim impact statements in total. They are from people including Pastor Erin Wilkinson and also Simon Patterson and other members of the Wilkinson and Patterson families. And it's very different to what we heard during the trial, because when they were giving evidence during the trial, it was all very factual based, very evidence based, but today it has been incredibly emotional. There's been already a whole lot of tears, especially when Pastor Erin Wilkinson explained how it's impacted his life.
Yeah, and seeing written statements is one thing, but hearing them directly from the victims and from family members, as you say, very powerful. What has the reaction been in the courtroom?
Oh, it's been incredibly emotional, Deb. Probably the most powerful moment in the courtroom so far this morning was when Pastor Erin Wilkinson read out his statement. He's always been very softly spoken, but for the first time, he was basically fighting back tears. He was really, really emotional as he was describing his wife, Heather. He described her as a beautiful, compassionate, witty woman. And he said since her death, life just hasn't been.
I just love this guy. He's just, you can tell by looking at him that he's a nice person. He reminds me of my dad a little bit. And what he's had to go through, it's just wrong, isn't it?
The same. He basically described little moments in his life where he would normally come home and they would talk about their days. He spoke about how much it pains him that he doesn't have that anymore now that he has passed, now that she has passed. But I'll read you one of the other statements that he made to the court, because I want to make sure that I get this right. He offered Erin Patterson forgiveness. He said that I encourage Erin to receive my offer of forgiveness for the harm she has done to me. I wish her no ill will, and my prayer is that she'll use her time in jail to become a better person. And he also said, I'm no longer a victim of Erin. Instead, she has become a victim of my kindness. So some very powerful words there from Pastor Erin Wilkinson.
Wow, see, that's clever, isn't it, really? I'm no longer a victim of Erin. She is now a victim of my kindness. So there's a little bit of an edge in there, isn't there, as well?
In his victim impact statement.
And any reaction from Erin Patterson herself?
No, not a whole lot of reaction from Erin Patterson, which isn't really unusual for the mother of 2. As she was brought into the dock, she didn't really have any emotion on her face, but she does have one supporter in the courtroom with her, and that is her friend Ali, who you might remember attended every single day of the trial. She's back here today, and she's actually sat right next to the dock. So as Erin Patterson was brought into the courtroom, they nodded and smiled at each other, but that's basically...
I mean, what is going on here? You know, who is this Ali? Is this a friendship as in a platonic friendship? Is there more to it? I mean, you know, it doesn't matter in a way, but what's wrong with this Ali woman?
The extent of the emotion we've seen from Erin Patterson. So those victim impact statements have been finished. That's 7 in total. And very soon it will be over to her defence to basically describe Erin's point of view and, you know, everything that led to that fateful lunch.
Yeah, extraordinary testimony underway. Amber, thank you. Turning now to Canberra, where moves are underway to make it easy.
Transported from prison to court for a lengthy plea hearing. Let's go live to Today Melbourne reporter Christina Hearn outside Victoria's Supreme Court. Chris, good morning. We'll hear from the victims' families.
Yeah, that's right, Carl. And the prosecution has already indicated there will be a lot of victim impact statements read out over this 2-day plea hearing. Now, the victims can either read out the impact statements in person themselves here in court, or they can choose to have the prosecutor do that for them. This is their opportunity to actually tell the judge just how much these murders have impacted their lives. We are not expecting Erin Patterson's estranged husband, Simon, to attend court in person. However, he can choose to have a victim impact statement read out on his behalf. As for the triple murderer, well, she has been locked up in the maximum security Dame Phyllis Frost Centre since last month. That's since she was found guilty of murdering 3 of her relatives and attempting to murder a 4th after serving them a beef Wellington dish at her home laced with death cap mushrooms. She today will be transported via prison van here to the Supreme Court, of course, under heavy security. Her defence is expected to argue for a non-parole period or minimum sentence, arguing mitigating factors. As for the judge, he will set a date for sentencing after this 2-day plea hearing. Carl and Sarah.
Chris, thank you.
Thank you, Carl.
So she said he would set the, he would, sorry, I'm back. Anyway, he has set the date, hasn't he? Was it the 9th? 9th of, Ellie was a social worker. Oh, God. You know, that makes me worry about social workers, and you just think, come on. Dear. Well, do you know, everyone has a right to have whatever relationship they want with whoever they want, and Ellie has that right just as much as anyone, but I'll never understand it in a million years. To me, it is like those fangirls and boys that contact people, murderers, marry them in prison, you know, and you've got people like bloody Levi Belfield got married in prison. Ted Bundy was one, wasn't he? Even Stefan Stearns has had fan mail from women, and they obviously didn't see that video of him, did they, in all his full glory? Blech. Oh my God. And sometimes I wonder if these people, men and women, because of course Gypsy Blanchard, she got married while she was in prison. So it's not only women who do it, men do it. Is it, what is it? Is it like, because sometimes I think with women, is it because they know they can't be unfaithful to them because they're stuck in prison? But then in the end, they normally are unfaithful to them because they're normally writing to several women, you know, or several men. They're not normally just writing prison's boring. So somebody sends you a letter, you know, with a nice photo and says, oh, I think you're lovely and I'm sure you're innocent, you know, they're going to reply to it, aren't they? And they do it for something to do. Do people really think that they're doing it because they've fallen in love with them through letters or emails or phone calls? It's quite a scary thing, that. I mean, I do know people who not through prison, but, you know, who've fallen in love online before they've even met the person. You know, I've got one friend, never had met the person. They always had an excuse. They'd seen them on, like, webcam and that, you know, over, I don't know, FaceTime or whatever. And they were always chatting, you know, every day, and they were in love. This went on for about 2 years. And we'd be out, like there'd be a few of us out, and the phone would ring, my friend's phone would ring, and she'd go, oh, it's my love. You know, say hello to my love. And we'd all be going, hello. Thinking, what? You know, are you crazy? Ugh, I haven't got words for it, because you can't fall in love with someone that you've never met. It's impossible. And the first thing, you know, you don't know when you actually meet them. They're not the same. It's not the same as, even if you've spoken to them on FaceTime or whatever, it's not the same. They could smell. That happened to me once when I went and met someone. I've never fallen in love with anyone online, but I have been on online, you know, dates, people that you meet online, not anymore. I mean, I've had some lovely dates, to be honest, and I actually did have quite a long relationship with someone that I met online. But I went and met them in person pretty good. This is my advice. Maybe I'll do a video on that. The do's and don'ts of online dating. because first thing is get to see them as quick as possible. Otherwise, you can go on for months with all this back and forth, and then you go and meet them and you don't like them, or they don't like you, of course. It can work both ways. And what was it? Then you've wasted 3 months, chatting to them online. So first thing to do is really, I would say, within a week of talking to them, go and meet them for a coffee somewhere or something. And I've got lots of advice, actually. I'm going to do a video on that. The do's and don'ts of internet dating. And this particular guy, he was so sweet. And he is sweet, to be fair. He's a nice person. And we had a little bit of interchange back and forth. And then we arranged to meet for a coffee. And then that's another piece of advice for me is go arrange to meet for a coffee, not for a drink, not for a meal, just a quick coffee. You say that you've not got long because you know what, you might need to get away pretty quick. So if you've arranged to go for a meal or something, you've got to sit there through the whole meal with them. But if you just arranged to go for a coffee, so I can't stay long, I've only got half an hour because of blah, blah, blah. Luckily, that's what I did. So I went off to meet this guy. We went to a cafeteria, and he was a Spanish guy. And, in Spain, they do the 2 kisses. Well, they did before COVID. They don't do it as much now, but they still do it. It's kiss to one cheek, kiss to the other cheek, then back, 2 kisses. Oh, no, it's one cheek and then the other cheek. That's what they do in Spain. Oh, my God, and this guy, poor guy, really, but he had the worst halitosis. His breath, oh, my God. And it wasn't just, you've just had a bit of garlic or, I don't know, you've just eaten something, a curry or something. It was awful. It was like you could hardly breathe with it. How nobody had told him about it, I don't know. His family. I tell you what, if I smelt that on my son's breath, I would tell him there's something wrong there. You need to go to a doctor. So we went and sat down at this cafeteria thing, and I sat as far away from him as I possibly could. And I thought, I've got to sit here for 30 minutes now. And as I say, it's such a shame because he really is. He really was a nice guy in himself. And as we were sat there, another man walked past and he went, oh, hola, he's obviously someone he knew. And they went to do the kisses or whatever. And you could see the other guy was like that. I just thought, why is nobody telling him? Because he lived at home. He had a sister, his parents. Maybe they've all got it as well. I don't know. Maybe they couldn't smell it, but it wasn't. So anyway, so needless to say, soon I had to go. And I had to make excuses then to not see him again. I've thought about saying to him the truth. But I thought, well, it's not really my place to tell him. His family and his friends should be telling him. And it's a shame because he was really upset. He couldn't understand why I didn't want to see him again. I hope God knows what's. I mean, this was quite a long time ago, so probably 20 years ago, maybe 15. But yeah, so I don't know what happened to him in the end. Obviously, we stopped contacting each other. But that's one nightmare experience I had with online dating. So, yeah. So how can you be in contact with someone for months and you don't even know if they've got bad breath or BO or, I don't know, people aren't the same in real life as they are in a photo or in a video, are they? Beer. Yeah. I don't think it was a yeasty smell, Bluebell, because I know that smell. Like sometimes, if someone's just had a beer, you can smell it on the breath. That's quite a nice smell. I don't find beer a bad smell, really. He was ill, this guy. This like when people get halitosis, it's a sign of illness, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It is when people have halitosis as opposed to just bad breath. We all have bad breath sometimes. Morning breath, and then after you brush your teeth, hopefully it goes. But this was different. It was different. It's like with BO, it's the same. Some people have a problem with BO, don't they? Like everybody gets sweaty and, and then they have a shower and they'll be okay. But some people, I used to work with someone years ago in Manchester, had that sort of like, there's BO, fresh BO, if you like. And then BO, which is like an illness, there's some, normally because there is some health issue there. And she had to be told about it, which not by me, but, the supervisor had to. I was only about 19 at the time. But everyone was talking about it because she really did smell. So nobody wanted to work sat next to her. And in the end, the supervisor had to speak to her about it. I can't remember what happened, whether, it could have been just didn't change her clothes or didn't have a shower, or it could have been, a health issue. But anyway, the reason I'm saying this, and I've forgotten completely, to be honest, why I even started talking about it, is about, online relationships. Why am I talking about online relationships? Maybe it's because I think maybe Ali was an online relationship for Erin. I don't know. Yeah, I think I think here in Spain as well, Spanish men really do look after themselves generally. So that particular guy that I was talking about, I don't think that was, well, he must have never brushed his teeth. I don't know. And I don't want to be horrible about him because he really was a nice person, but yeah, I'm going to do a video about that one day, some of my experiences with online dating. And I've had some really good times with people that I've met online, really nice experiences as well. So I'm not against it per se. It's just that there are, what's the word? You've got to take precautions and make sure you only meet in safe places. Everybody knows where you're going. They know who the person is. Oh, God, I've sent bloody photos of a doorway, like, to my friends to say where I am, just in case anything happens to me. Sometimes even I've been on a date and we've gone into a bar. My friends have been sat over the other side of the room, like keeping an eye, making sure we're okay. And then when I feel like and they're messaging me like while I'm sat there with the person, the guy, and I'm going, no, he's nice. He's all right. And then brought them over and said, oh, by the way, these were my friends who were just checking up on me. And I don't think I've ever really been scared on one. There's one guy that I met that I did think was a little bit suspicious. But anyway, I just met him in a bar and we had a drink together, and then I went home and that was it. I never saw him again. See, the other thing you do find is with those kind of people, the dodgy people, they do get fed up of you pretty quick because they want, they want a quick, like, I don't go into anything quick. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not quick in anything. Everything's slow. So they want these, who I would call a suspicious, they're trying to rush you into something, like into a relationship or into it moving too quickly. They're always putting pressure on you, They're the suspicious ones for me. The ones that stand back a little bit themselves, that they're a little bit cautious. They're the more, then some stand back so far back that you never get anywhere with them, but I've had that one as well. Anyway, I've got to go because I've got to go and teach some Spanish. So, said a 2-day hearing, didn't it? So there'll be more coming out. Expect tomorrow morning. I haven't got any classes in the morning tomorrow. I'll come on and we'll talk about whatever comes up in the morning. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Angel. Love bombing is not a good thing. I mean, it's nice. It's lovely when people are, they're saying, oh, you look nice and you look, oh, you're great and blah. No. It's all nice. That everybody likes a compliment. Everybody likes somebody saying nice things to them. But yeah, love bombing is a big red flag, isn't it? A big red flag. Too much, you know. Problem with me, it takes me so long to make up my mind. Then by the time I've gone off with somebody else anyway. C'est la vie. Ah, well. I mean, I can't say that I'm bothered, to be honest. Okay, have a fantastic day, whatever you're doing. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you to Maria who joined during this. Thank you. What else do I want to put on my banner? Please subscribe, and please subscribe to the Spanish and English channel as well. And think about becoming a member. And that's it. Thank you so much. I'll see you really soon in the next video. Oh, and by the way, love to Ian, and also rest in peace to Don, Gail and Heather, who unfortunately did not survive. But I hope Ian's coping okay. And all the family, in fact. But that must have been a hard day for Ian today. Okay, I'll see you really soon in the next video. And until then, may your God go with you. Bye.